everyone, Ariel Adams here with blog2read.com. Please thumbs up this video if you find it useful and subscribe to Blog to Read videos on YouTube. This is the HD3 Slyde. This is a digital watch. This is a luxury digital watch. And just look at the case for a second. It's a large case. I think it's got to be, I don't know, at least close to 50 millimeters wide. It's a square, so it looks bigger, but it's very curved, as you can see, wraps over the wrist. This is the steel version. It also comes in titanium, gold. There's a version with diamonds. There's a version where this part is coated black. The strap is very cool. And this is one of the very first, I guess you could say, electronic luxury watches that incorporates a touch screen. This HD3 always had this sort of double strap thing, and so they wanted to incorporate there. The buckle is quite nice, and you can see that these two little loops here for the adjustment. On the back, you can see for the charging base, there's a little dock that it sits on to charge, and that same dock allows you to connect to your computer. And there's a sapphire crystal. So that is the watch. Then we'll get into the functionality. So how do you activate? There's no buttons anywhere on the case. What you do is you tap it, and then it turns on. And you can adjust the software how long it stays on for and all sorts of things like that. I think it's 5 seconds right here. So once you have it on, you can go ahead and swipe through the various screens. There's what's called an engine, okay? And see here it says engine. You can load up to 4 different engines on here. An engine is like the skin. Think of it as the skin. It's how everything looks. They all have the same functionality. Pretty much every single function you could want in a wristwatch you have here. So here's the moon phase indicator. If you tap on it, it does this cool little animation. And then you tap on it again and it shows you, what the moon phase is. So it says April 28th, and then there's the moon phase. These are various different types of calendars that you can set for yourself, different weeks, things like that. Here you have just the basic calendar. So you have, April 28th, so you have the 2/8, and then you have Saturday right there. This is for changing the time zone. This is your basic time. You can see the seconds in the middle there. This is a chronograph, countdown timer. I mean, just all sorts of stuff like that you'd want. And I find it all pretty useful. How do you adjust something, or how do you use it? Well, for the chronograph, for example, you want to tap it here, and then the chronograph is starting. And then you tap it again to stop, and then you hold the finger for a second to restart it. It's very, very simple. There isn't a lot of, brain power required. If you flip to the side, this is just the stock imagery, but you can load your own pictures on here, and it's kind of cool. So, you can just have a picture you want. You can even put little videos in there. But one thing that's kind of cool, it's kind of silly, but you can have like a picture, and then you can adjust a date, and the date is either sometime in the future or sometime in the past. And then what you can do is have like this countdown date, or how many days until. So this one, for example, has a gift, and then it says the year is 2099. So it's saying that you have 32,000 days to wait until this thing happens. So let's say you have something a year in advance, like an anniversary. You can put it on there as like a reminder, and it says that you have like a certain amount of days to wait before that comes. You can also have days in the past, and it tells you like how many days since. So like maybe since you got a job, or since a son was born, or since like you were married. You can say like, oh, just so you know, we've been married for a certain amount of days already. And it's kind of, and the picture could be like a picture from your wedding day. It's just little fun things like that. The touch screen is quite responsive, and I like it. The only gripe I would say, it's not really a gripe, but let's wait for the screen to time out for a second. When it times out, again, that's adjustable. You can have it all sorts of different times, but when you want to reactivate it, there's a little bit of a lag. It's not huge. You can see here these lights on the side. The lower one right here is an ambient light indicator to see how bright the dial needs to be, and then the other 4 are going to be for the battery indicator, tell you when it needs a charge. HD3 told me that with a full charge it should last like 2 weeks. That's about right, and that assumes that you don't have it on all the time. If you have the watch on all the time, that's going to go down. But I found that battery life, at least in my experience, has been pretty good and not so bad. And one thing that's funny is, you need 2 hands to operate it because you have to tap it. But like, I'll just like hit it against my forehead or something, or like my arm or my chest, and it'll turn on. On the wrist, it's fine. It's a larger watch, but it's cool. Some people love this. Some people don't. it's just something that I think is cool, and I like the fact that you can connect it to your computer, and there's software to change things, and you have different engines, and that's one of the really cool parts, because you have all these really great designers in the watch industry that have ideas for movements that could never be made because mechanically it's not possible. So HD3's idea is to work with some of these guys to create these skins for the timepiece side of it, and have all these crazy looks. And I've seen some of them, and it's pretty fun. This is just the stock one that comes with it. Again, this is the HD3 Slyde. I don't have pricing information at this second, but when I do the full review on theblogtree.com, you'll get all that. Thanks.